the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings traveling to jolly old London town to go ahead and play what I think is an abomination against American football.
Do that accent again?
No. No, but
jolly old London.
Yeah, they're going over there to play in London, which means we all got to go ahead, set an alarm, skip church if you want to watch the Jets and the Vikings play, because they'll be kicking 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Shouldn't have to set alarms to watch football. That's my stance. Either way, this game will be played and it will count against the standings, VJ. And the thing that all week, the entire week, the conversation has been the Jets offense. And it seems that everybody's got an opinion. Starting with Robert Saleh saying, well, maybe guys, our cadence is wrong. Then Aaron Rodgers coming out saying, I don't know, why don't you coach them up because my cadence is great. Then Garrett Wilson says, well, when I watch teams play on Sunday, I watch teams mix it up. I'd like to mix it up. And then Nathaniel Hackett says, what do you mean? We want you to be the focal point of our offense, Garrett. And then Garrett Wilson says, well, look at my stats. All right? That is the energy that the New York Jets bring across the pond to New York to England. The Jets, to me, despite Aaron Rodgers saying they had to deal with the struggles of success after beating who may be the worst team in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans, right? They bring us to London, where if we take preseason biases out of what we're seeing so far, they're playing the best team in the NFC, in the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
If you take your preseason biases out of it,
currently
the Vikings have been the best team in the NFC. Now, will that remain? I don't know. But I look through 4 games, they've been the best team in the NFC.
Absolutely.
Now, this is also another wrinkle here. Woody Johnson, former ambassador to England, will be there in the box at wherever this game is played, Tottenham Hotspur or wherever, Wembley, wherever. He'll be there with all his rich tea and crumpet friends. And you got to wonder how much of an impact that has if the Jets come out and get smoked. Like, I think they're going to get smoked. So first, VJ, the first question, do the Jets get smoked or do they have a shot at winning this game? If they do lose in an embarrassing level of fashion, does anything happen as fallout to this?
Man, the whole Robert Saleh could be fired after this thing. It's just you'd be firing a coach that's 2-3. Right, if they lose this game, right? They're not 0-5, they're not 1-4, they're 2-3. But I will point out, Vikes, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, Arizona are their next 5 games. So if you fire a coach, you're then going into Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, and Arizona. That's tough for any interim guy to come in and have to deal with. So the first part of your question, do they get smoked tomorrow? No, because if I say yeah, then it won't happen. And if I say yes, they will. The Jets will come out. They'll play competitively. Remember now, this trip does things. It does weird things to teams, right? This trip across the pond, across the Atlantic, it does weird things to teams. They're coming off of a completely embarrassing showing last week and then missing a field goal to lose the game and losing 9-6 at home, okay? I believe that they have enough professionalism as football guys. Forget the coaches and the front office and Johnson being there. He's also there, I think, because his team is playing in London. I don't think he's there to fire Robert Saleh because it's hard for me to think you're going to fire a guy at 2-3. Not unless Aaron Rodgers, and I just want to throw a little conspiracy thing out there. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem very fond of the guy. Let's just be honest about it. He doesn't seem very fond of him. If he is there, if Aaron Rodgers has put some type of word in the ear of somebody that can get the word to Johnson, that he's just not happy with this guy. And we can tell that they don't get along and they're not on the same page. Your quarterback and head coach have to be on the same page. So do they get smoked, Martin? No. Do they lose? Yes. Is Robert Saleh fired after this? No. I just have a hard time thinking you're going to fire a coach at 2-3 unless someone with influence has put the bug out there that they don't want this guy to be their coach. And if you're thinking about making a move for Devontae Adams, don't you think you kind of want to get Saleh out of there if you're Aaron Rodgers, if you're going to bring Devontae in? If you're Aaron Rodgers and, that's your guy, you don't want to bring him into a situation that you don't want to play for the guy. Why would you bring your buddy in? And you don't even want to play for the guy. So, do they lose? Yes. Do they get smoked? No. Is Saleh fired? No. Unless Mr. Discount Double Check has planted the seeds.
It's like you say, okay, you're firing coach who's 2-3, but I'd say more you're firing a coach that has put together the track record of Robert Saleh throughout his career, which is much less 2-3.
I got you.
Much, you know what I'm saying? He's 20-35 all time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, should have fired him before the season started. Then
he's never had a winning record. Well, here's the problem. Here's the thought. Everybody got like a mulligan when Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year.
Yep.
But now when you're sitting in this scenario, every week from week 1 to week 4, Robert Saleh says something in his press conference. Aaron Rodgers is asked about it. And instead of saying, we'll talk about it later, instead of saying, I got to look at the film, instead of saying any one of the millions of platitudes that athletes provide, that was me, instead of the millions of platitudes that athletes provide, right, when they don't want to answer a question, Aaron Rodgers says, no, let's hold him accountable instead. Aaron Rodgers has taken every single opportunity he has at the podium, whether it be post-game, whether it be Tuesday, whether it be Thursday, whether it be Pat McAfee show, to go ahead and let people know through the lines, he's not saying it directly, but through the lines saying, I do not respect this guy.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. To me, that's what it is. If you're already this far in where you're going to give everybody a mulligan after he was gone after 4 snaps last year, Aaron Rodgers is the plan. You better do everything to follow that plan. And do I think it's a good plan? No, I don't. But if I'm in, like I said earlier to some Charles, if it's a lie, we fight on that lie.
Yeah.
We are too far down the road to try to blow this thing up. And the reality is, pretty much all these guys are going to get fired at the end of the year anyway. Ian, you are chomping at the bit, spitting literal things out of the corner of your mouth.
Opinion.
You look like you have rabies. Go ahead, call me an idiot.
We were talking about this a little before the show, Martin, and I just feel like if you fight, whatever your opinion is on Saleh, it's up in the air right now. I really, there's good things and there's bad things, but to me, if you're firing your coach mid-season, regardless of the team and the situation, you're punting on the season. The season's done.
Thank you.
Right?
Yep.
So I don't think I can see the Jets and Woody Johnson, 4 or 5 games into the season, deciding just because of another loss that they're going to blow up the whole season. And they don't even know how long they have Aaron Rodgers for. If it really is just a 1-year thing with Rodgers, you're not going to spend that one season you have starting it off with firing your head coach. Because you're not going, you just simply are not going to win the Super Bowl if you start off the season firing your head coach. When does that ever happen?
Well, here's the problem. The Jets aren't going to win the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're running the team, that's your ultimate goal, regardless of what the media thinks, what we think, on Martin and VJ, whatever. Your goal is to win the Super Bowl. So I don't think you're going to fire your coach this early in the season when that's still the ultimate goal at the end of the year.
Here's a point, though, I want to throw at you. He doesn't respect them. You're right. Do you think that plays into how demonstrative and how honestly disrespectful Aaron Rodgers has been, knowing that he could kind of get away with this? Listen, let's just call it what it is. They have the 3rd-ranked defense in the NFL. They have the 2nd-ranked passing defense in the NFL, giving up 128. They're locking people down. The offense is in the bottom half. They're number 22 in the league. Aaron, stop trying to blame everything else around you, bro. Sometimes it's you guys know how I feel about the guy, or used to at least. I used to really, really love this dude, but I don't like people that are unaccountable. That's one of my pet peeves in life. People who just can't say, you know what? My bad. You know what? That's on me. You know what? Ian, I'm sorry. Man to man, my bad, homie. I'm sorry that I said that. Do you accept my part? When is Aaron Rodgers ever just going to say, look, I'm a little rusty. I had a lot, last year off. I'm out of sync with my receivers, right? This Garrett Wilson thing with him, dude, it's real. It wasn't just a preseason thing. It's now spilled over into the season.
This is who he is, though. I don't think anyone expects Aaron Rodgers to change.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm just stupidly optimistic, bro. Maybe and I am. Some people are just hopeless romantics. Maybe I'm just stupidly sports optimistic. That a guy at his age, you're on your way out the door. Why not? Like Kobe's last year, right? We knew Kobe was an a-hole. We knew Kobe was a jerk. But he took the last year to say, I'm just going to have fun this year, guys. And listen, I made mistakes. He sat down and had his talk with Shaq, admitted what he did. Accountability, right? On the way out the door. Aaron, what are you doing?
So, Ian, I got to ask you a question. You said there's good things and bad things. What are the good things?
The fact that he's the defensive guy, the fact that you hired him to bring his defensive culture to the team,
and their defense has been very good and been very good.
Yeah.
But he's not calling plays.
But he's developing. He's got his hands all over that defense. Come on.
Just
because he's not calling, Jeff Ulbrich is the defensive coordinator and he deserves a ton of credit as well. But when you're a defensive-minded head coach, you'd better have a good defense, and he very much has had a good defense ever since.
Don't let him trip. Hey, Ian, don't let Martin trip you up, man. Yeah. You know what you're talking about, Ian. He has his fingerprints on the defense, Ian. Talk your stuff, Ian.
He had a good defense.
He does, and he develops players too. It's like, Quincy Williams was a third-round pick of the Jaguars, and then they cut him, and then Robert Saleh snatched him up and boom, made him into a first-team All-Pro last year. Jamien Sherwood's playing amazing this year. He was a safety in college at Auburn, and now he's playing great at linebacker for the Jets. This is what Saleh does. He develops guys on the defensive side of the ball. The question is, can he do it on the whole team, which he hasn't shown that he can do yet.
What's plug your blog, your Jets blog?
Oh, yeah, I write for jetsxfactor.com.
Jetsxfactor.com.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congrats, bro. I'm going to go check that out.
Oh, yeah, it's been years, yeah. I've covered the Jets for them for a while. Obviously, since producing here at Fox Sports, I do it in a little bit less of a capacity, but still.
Well, I just wanted to make sure.
Awesome.
Some people probably sitting in their cars talking about, what is this impassioned Jet defense?
Nah, yeah, I don't plug my stuff enough, so yeah, I appreciate that.
If you want to see more of it, jetsxfactor.com. There you go.
Yeah. You could change it too. You could change it to like bum-jetsxfactor.com.
Yeah, you know. Wow.
It might improve the SEO, right? You might get more clicks that way. Coming up next.
I love you, Ian.
At the end of last season, we all thought this team would be a Super Bowl contender. They're not quite living up to the hype just yet, but have an opportunity on Sunday to make the doubters believers.